Think about this. The man running for president simulated oral at a campaign speech, and it's barely front page headlines.
I'm so upset with people who aren't exercising their intellect as much as they're exercising their emotions.
Actor and activist Mandy Patinkin hits the nail on the head when it comes to MAGA.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison.
This pathetic rhetoric has real-life consequences because his followers believe him. Count Patinkin out.
America will be made great again by nourishing and encouraging people's moral and ethical nature, encouraging their human beingness, not their fear. I beg the leaders of the world, of the United States and of the European community, to stop being afraid, to start working together, to listen to the lies of these souls that are no different than your own family, who are desperately in need, and to work in solidarity with their moral and ethical code and nature that I know they have.
Listen and reflect. How can one with critical thinking skills, loving thy neighbor, wanting the best for civilization, go against this message?
He asked Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, about claims that Trump once asked him, quote, "Why can't you be like the German generals?" So Goldberg then writes, well, he told me that when Trump raised the subject of German generals, Kelly responded by asking, "Do you mean Bismarck's generals?" He went on, "I mean, I know he didn't know who Bismarck was or about the Franco-Prussian War. I said, do you mean the Kaiser's generals? Surely you cannot mean Hitler's generals." And he said, yeah, Hitler's generals. And The Atlantic goes on to cite then two more sources who were at the Trump White House. They claimed that they heard Trump say, quote, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, people who were totally loyal to him that follow orders."
Don't say we weren't warned.
You know, people laughed at Adolf Hitler. Hitler was called a fool. He was called a goof, a silly person, made fun of. And then he got to be Hitler. It's not a joke. These things happen, and there's great similarities. Instead of it being Jews, it's Muslims. Instead of it being blacks who were in slavery, it's Muslims.
Similarities between the language of Donald Trump and the language of Adolf Hitler.
Yes, sir. And it's undeniable.
At least one person sees it.
He is the most dangerous person ever. I had suspicions when I talked to you about his mental decline and so forth, but now I realize he's a total fascist. He is the most dangerous person to this country, a fascist to the core. Milley repeated to me, I will never forget the intensity of his worry.
It's former military veterans who worked in the Trump White House trying to ring the alarm.
I personally am very close friends with one of the highest people in national security of the country. And I said to him when we were shooting Homeland in 2016, you were, sort of okay with it now. And then things unfolded. And I said, how are you now? How do you feel now that he's in office? He said, now I'm really worried. I said, why is that? He said, because I've been with many of these president-elects and people running for president, and there's a big change that happens once they're in that chair in that White House, and I haven't seen that change, and that terrifies me.
And Patinkin even cites a source of his who echoes those same worries.
Why do we want these people from, quote, all these whole countries here? Mr. Trump was referring to African nations and Haiti, before suggesting the U.S. should have more people from places like Norway.
There is a repeated pattern from a man who not only coddles white supremacists, but dines with them.
To have us as citizens have to sit and witness the degradation of one of the most important systems in the world right now, to debate ideas that affect human lives, and to listen to an egomaniac destroy any possibility of discussion is unacceptable. It is an insult to us as voters to have to witness this kind of bestiality.
Patinkin, like many, has had enough.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Remember this?
We have to be human moral beings, human rights. If you don't, I've said this before, it's an old, it came from the Holocaust. If you don't take care of these people now, if you don't stop worrying about yourself and take care of your fellow man now, when the time comes that you need someone to help you, no one will be there. And if you think that's not the truth, think again.
Because Patinkin has a great retort to it.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Speaking of,
it used to be monarchies, fascists, demagogues, kings. That's what this country was formed to try to avoid, to represent the people so that they could have a voice, so that their vote meant something. That's what it'll go back to. It'll be go back to a monarchy. This democracy is a baby. It's only a few years old in the timeline of history.
True.
And don't think that it can't happen. There are people that want it to happen. They're trying to destroy our democracy. Those who can't accept the results of an election. An election is a game. Don't go to a baseball game or a football game or a soccer game or a basketball game if you can't accept the fact that there'll be a winner and a loser. That's why you're going to the damn game, for God's sake. And so don't think that you can't lose the privilege of being an American, the privilege of having the greatest power in the world, which is your vote.
It's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
Don't ever forget the Trump administration gave this idiot the stamp of approval.
What's at risk if we don't help these people is a moral crisis. That's what's at risk. Fear is the poison of our lives. We're all afraid of so many things. Anybody who doesn't understand that and have some empathy toward fear that people have all over the world isn't being kind. Fear is very real, but there's nothing to be afraid of here. Nothing at all. Our humanity is at risk if we don't take care of these people. Our right to exist is at risk. If you don't help these people, when you are in need, there will be no one. I guarantee you, there will be no one to help you.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.